Let me tell you about the night my brain betrayed me like a little bitch. College party, music blaring, people drunk, fake laughing at dumb jokes. I'm posted by the fridge, holding a piss warm beer, like it's the only thing keeping me alive. This dude walks up and introduces me to some girl. Gorgeous, intimidating, the kind of smile that makes your heart fucking hiccup. She says, "Hi." I say, "Hey." And then boom, mental blackout. Like someone unplugged my soul from the fucking socket. No words, no thoughts. Just this thick, suffocating silence, so loud it felt like it was screaming, "You awkward fuck," in Dolby surround sound. I stood there smiling like a moron, pretending I was thinking of something clever, but inside, say something, you dumb motherfucker. Say anything. Don't fuck this up. But I did, because I froze, because anxiety is a sneaky little bastard. It doesn't knock, it kicks the fucking door open and holds your brain hostage. That wasn't the first time either. It had happened before, in classes, in cafes, in goddamn elevators. And every time I thought, fuck me, why can't I be normal? But here's the psychological twist most people never figure out. It's not that you have nothing to say, it's that you're so fucking terrified of saying something wrong, your brain goes into lockdown mode. You think silence is awkward? It's your internal self-judgment that's the real mindfucker. And that fear, it whispers shit like they'll think you're weird. You'll say something stupid. You're boring as fuck. So instead of speaking, you sit there, trapped in your own skull, while the moment dies in front of you. But here's the raw truth. Most people don't give a flying fuck about your awkward silence. They're too busy stressing about their own shit. That night, it crushed me, but it also cracked something open. It made me realize silence isn't the killer. Fear of judgment is. And once I stopped giving a fuck about being smooth and started owning my awkwardness, shit began to shift, slowly, messily, but real as fuck. So yeah. That was my rock bottom. That was the moment I decided, fuck playing safe. I'd rather say something weird than say nothing and drown in my own goddamn head again. After that night, I was pissed. Not at the world, not at the girl, at myself, at this weak-ass, overthinking, panic-driven version of me that folded like a cheap lawn chair every time things got a little fucking quiet. So I did something crazy. I stopped trying to fill the silence. No forced jokes, no fake-ass questions, just shut the fuck up and sit in it. At first, it felt like torture, like staring into a psychological black hole. Every second felt like someone was peeling my skin off with anxiety. But then, something weird happened. The world didn't explode. Nobody fucking died. People didn't point at me and say, "Ha, look at this socially crippled dipshit." They just sat there, and sometimes they spoke first, sometimes they smiled, sometimes nothing happened, and that was still okay. That's when it hit me like a goddamn freight train. Silence isn't awkward. My relationship with silence was just fucked. See, when you're addicted to external validation, silence feels like failure. You start thinking shit like, they must be bored. I'm not interesting enough. I should say something funny or cool right now. But when you stop needing to prove yourself in every micro moment, when you sit in silence like you own that shit, you realize something powerful. Confidence isn't loud. Sometimes it just looks like not giving a single fuck about filling the air. I stopped fidgeting, stopped searching for approval in every nod and fake laugh. I let conversations breathe, and suddenly I wasn't awkward anymore. I was calm, unbothered, the motherfucker who didn't chase. And guess what? People noticed. Because the dude who's comfortable in silence, he's not nervous, he's not needy, he's dangerous. Want to know the moment shit really started to click for me? When I stopped pretending to listen and started listening like I was building a case file on the motherfucker in front of me. Not to impress them, not to nod like some polite robot, but to extract everything. Let me say this loud for the clueless. Active listening isn't about being nice. It's about being sharp, cold, calculated. You listen like a fucking predator, like a criminal profiler watching a suspect confess without realizing it. Someone says, "Yeah, I cut my hand on Sunday working on my car." Old me would have nodded and said, "Oh damn, that sucks," and then mentally panicked about what to say next. But now, my brain immediately goes, what kind of car? Is it their car or someone else's? Why the fuck were they working on it on a Sunday? Did they really cut themselves, or are they exaggerating? Do they like working on cars, or are they just broke and fixing it themselves? That one line, it's not a sentence, it's a goldmine, because people talk in headlines, not stories. It's your job to dig for the fucking story. That's the difference between boring-ass small talk and conversations that actually go somewhere. And the secret weapon? Curiosity. Brutal, relentless curiosity. You gotta want to understand, not just respond. You don't wait for your turn to speak. You hunt for meaning in their words. You break them down. You ask follow-ups that actually make them pause and go, damn, no one's ever asked me that. That's when they start opening up. That's when you take control of the room. Because now you're not the guy struggling to be interesting. You're the guy who makes other people feel interesting. And people fucking love that. Let me be clear, I didn't read 50 books or rehearse 101 icebreakers. I just learned to listen like a motherfucker who gave a shit, even when I didn't. And that alone, that made people talk. And when people talk, they connect. Boom, game over. Let's get one thing straight. If your conversations are dry as fuck, if you always run out of things to say, if you keep replaying awkward moments like a sad little Netflix series in your head, it's probably because you don't do shit. Yeah, I said it. You sit there all day watching YouTube videos, scrolling Instagram, liking memes about being mysterious, but you haven't done a single thing worth talking about since that time you accidentally microwaved a spoon. No hobbies, no opinions, no weird obsessions, no fucking soul. So how the fuck are you supposed to say anything interesting when there's nothing inside you worth sharing? I had to learn this the hard way. I used to blame the conversation. Ugh, they're boring. Hey, we just didn't click. No, motherfucker, I was boring. I hadn't lived enough. I hadn't explored shit. I was a blank slate wearing deodorant, so I changed that. I started chasing things. Cars, psychology, mixed martial arts, hikes that nearly killed me, books that broke my brain, not to impress people, but to feed my mind. Because when you start filling your life with shit that actually lights a fire in you, your conversations stop being mechanical. They become magnetic. You stop being that guy who asks, so, what do you do for work? And start being the guy who's like, you ever think about how the way someone drives says more about them than their fucking dating profile? Now, people lean in. They listen because your energy is different. You've got texture, grit, weight. And here's the kicker. You don't need to do things that everyone else finds cool. You need to do things that make you feel alive, even if they're fucking niche as hell. You love bird watching? Own that shit. You obsess over serial killer documentaries? Let's fucking talk. You've got a weird addiction to fixing old clocks? I promise you, that's better than pretending you just chill all the time. The moment you stop trying to be liked and start being real, raw, and obsessed with shit that excites you, you become a walking conversation starter. So yeah, if you want better conversations, stop being a bland little robot. Go build a goddamn personality. Let me hit you with a truth bomb. Smart questions don't make people talk. Stupid ones do. You keep trying to sound intellectual and polished like some LinkedIn douchebag. Meanwhile, the dude next to you asks, do you think pigeons ever get tired of flying? And suddenly, the room is laughing, and everyone wants to be part of that conversation. So yeah, fuck being cool. Ask the weird shit. Ask the random ass, wait, what? Kind of questions that throw people off autopilot and straight into real-ass reactions. Let me tell you what changed everything for me. I stopped trying to ask good questions and started asking the shit I was actually curious about, no matter how dumb it sounded. Stuff like, do you mow your own lawn, or is that a dad thing? What's your default McDonald's order when you've given up on life? Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck? Now look, I'm not just being a dumbass for the sake of it. These questions do something very specific. They break the mask. Because most people walk around guarded, scripted, in performance mode. But when you ask a totally unhinged, out-of-nowhere question with real curiosity, they stop, they laugh, they engage. And suddenly, the boring-ass small talk melts, and you're in a real fucking moment. Here's the psychology behind it. Smart questions trigger performance. Stupid questions trigger presence. See the difference? Now, obviously, don't be a dipshit and ask offensive or creepy shit. Use your brain. But if you're genuinely curious, even if it's about something random as fuck, ask it. And here's the twist most people miss. Stupid questions open doors to deep conversations. You ask, how tall are you? They say, 5 feet 9 inches? Why? You say, damn. I always thought height changed how people experience the world. Boom. Now you're talking about perception, childhood, insecurity, confidence, all from a random ass question. So yeah, stop fearing the dumb shit. Embrace it, own it, weaponize it, because real conversations don't start with perfect questions. They start with bold ones. Look, I don't care how good your listening is. I don't care how many wild-ass questions you throw in. I don't care if you walk in with Tony Stark level charisma. Sometimes the vibe is just fucking dead. You're talking to someone who gives you nothing. One-word answers? Dead eyes, no spark, no return energy. It's like talking to a brick wall with Wi-Fi. And in those moments, you'll feel that little voice in your head whisper, keep trying. Maybe ask a better question. Don't give up. Nah, fuck that. Here's the truth I had to tattoo into my goddamn soul. You're not a magician. You're not a motivational speaker. You're not Jesus. You don't resurrect conversations that are already fucking dead. Maybe they're just awkward. Maybe they're shy. Or maybe they just don't give a single flying fuck about talking to you. And you know what? That's okay. Because the moment I stop forcing it, the moment I let the dead vibes rot in peace instead of CPRing them like some desperate extrovert, that's when I reclaim my power. I've been on dates where I tried everything. Jokes, deep questions, honest stories, and it still felt like I was talking to a tired Alexa, so I stopped, mid-drink, mid-sentence. I leaned back, took a breath, and said in my head, this plant's dead, bro. Stop watering it. Let it fucking go. That mindset saved me hours of mental exhaustion, overthinking, and soul-destroying self-blame. Because sometimes it's not you, it's them, or it's the timing, or the chemistry, or the stars, or whatever. The point is, you don't owe your energy to everyone. You're allowed to walk away, you're allowed to go silent, you're allowed to say, cool, I'm out, and protect your vibe like it's gold. And when you do that, people notice, your time gets respected, and you stop wasting your life begging boring motherfuckers to engage. So that's it. Be comfortable in silence. Listen like a fucking detective. Build a real personality. Ask stupid shit that works. And when it ain't clicking, let that shit die. Don't resurrect corpses, burn them, and bounce. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being real. And if you got this far, you're already ahead of 90% of the fake-ass small talkers out there. Now go talk like a motherfucker.